Talking Shadows today, we've got the debut of Craftworld Eldar, and they're going to make their attack under the cover of darkness. So in this mission, you generate 3 tactical objectives in your turn. Can't have more than 3. And the only stipulation that makes this different is you keep your objective cards secret to your opponent, and a sort of night fighting rule is in effect. It is called cover of darkness. So if you are 18 inches away from your enemy unit, you take a -1 to your to hit roll. So the Eldar attacking out of the darkness here. So we're playing Vanguard Strike. That's the map that we've rolled for. So it's corner to corner. Ulthwe have chosen this corner to deploy in. So because the objectives are here, there's one here, one there, one in the trench in the distance. The Imperial Guard are in the other corner over here, and they're going to have to come forward for their objectives. So there's one objective here, one here, but they do have one in their deployment zone. So they will have to come forward, especially with the night rule in effect. We'll call it the proper name. It's the cover of darkness rule. So the Eldar, one of the cleverest races, have chosen to come at night for the debut, and I think it's a good decision to do when you're against the Astra Militarum. Okay, I've got just under 2,000 points of Craftworld Ulthwe. So finally we have our codex. So we've got a battalion detachment. We've also got a spearhead detachment. I think it's the one with the heavies. So for troops, we've got big unit of 20 Guardians here, 2 Bright Lancers, 10-man unit here with the Aeldari missile launcher, and a unit of Rangers as well. We've got Eldrad leading this detachment. He is the Warlord, so his Warlord trait is at the start of your turn and your enemy's turn. On the 6+, you can get a command point, so really want those command points because there's a lot of cool tricks the Eldar can play. So for Elite, we've got a unit of Wraith Guard with the Wraith Cannons, got a unit of Banshees as well, 6-man team there. We've got Fast Attack with the Wind Riders. They've just got Shuriken Catapults, the twin Shuriken Catapults. And we've got a Warlock as well, making up the other HQ. Other Farseer, he's heading the Spearhead detachment. And we've got an Exarch, a Crimson Hunter Exarch in the flyer, so he can reroll 1s to hit, so he's pretty good. Hits on 2s, but 3s if you move him with heavy weapons, so he's still a good shot. We've got Fire Prism. These have got 3 modes of fire, each one can pulverise you. It's deadly stuff now. Wraith Lord, he's got the Twin Flamers, Bright Lance, got the Ghost Glaive. He's really good now. And the Warwalker, Twin Pulse, Scatter Lasers on him. Well, I've also got 2 Wave Serpents as dedicated transports. They've got the double Bright Lance, Shuriken Cannon on each. Probably the units in front will be the ones that go inside these. And each of the vehicles, including the Fire Prism, they've got the Crystal Targeting Matrix. So if they're shooting at the nearest target, they don't have to take any penalty with the heavy weapon if they move. So that could be handy. Right, Psychic Powers, what we've gone for is both Farseers have Guide and Doom. Of course, they both know Smite as well. But Eldrad knows a further power, and he's got Fortune. So just trying to keep things a little bit clean. I think Farseers have taken a bit of a knock now that you can only play 1 Psychic Power of the same sort in a turn. So it's basically insurance having them both with the 2 same Psychic Powers. So we've got him, he's on the front lines. Eldrad will try and keep safe, but I've got some contingency there. And the Warlock, he's going to have Conceal, Reveal. So basically just means he can select an infantry or biker unit, and it's a -1 to hit them, so it's quite nice little buff for him.
Right, so we've got 2,000 points of Astra Militarum, playing the Cadian faction today. And we have, first of all, troops over here. We've got 3 squads of 10, and the sergeant, comms and a plasma in each. And there's a lieutenant there to lead them. Then we have at the back a Hellhound. And we've got 4 weapons teams, mortar team. And we've got 3 others as you see there, las cannons and heavy bolters, a couple with auto cannons. And a Valkyrie at the back with a las cannon, multiple rocket pods, heavy bolters.
I'm just going to add in something else here. These multiple rocket pods these days, with the new codex, are assault weapons. So in the last game we thought they were heavy weapons just like the Index, but they're actually assault weapons. So these Valkyries are now back in the good books. So as you were, let's continue.
Yeah, so we've got 3 characters at the front here. A Psyker with Psychic Barrier and Terrifying Visions. And we've got the Commander.
So that's not Creed.
It's not Creed.
Because Creed's locked in a box somewhere.
Yeah, it's his lucky likey. And then we've got a Lord Commissar. He's got a Power Fist. And he's got the Emperor's Benediction, which is an heirloom.
Right.
That's one part of the army. That's the battalion detachment. And here we've got a Spearhead detachment. And that's led by Commander Pask. And he's got a well tooled up tank. It's probably going to live for 1 round, and that's it. If it lasts 1 round. So we've got an exterminator cannon on that, a vanquisher cannon, I believe, yeah. Plasmas, las cannon, hunter killer missile somewhere there. And we've got the demolisher, as you see, with 3 heavy flamers. Got 2 Lehman Russ with the battle cannon and heavy bolter fit out with the last cannon. And we've got an exterminator, I think it's called, with the autocannon and heavy bolters. And we've got a basilisk and a hydra.
Okay, both sides have revealed themselves now, and the Ulthwe are scheduled to go first, so we'll just go through their deployment. So we've put the scouts up there. I think you need to do it after you seize the initiative, but we'll put them there anyway. That's where they're always going to go. They've got a good line of sight on the commander down there, so they were deployed last, so we might as well just start there. But anyway, we've got a Wraith Lord here, just on the corner. The Wraith Guard are in this Wave Serpent. We've got the 20 Guardians here, Eldrads amongst them. They're taking care of this objective. We've got the Wind Riders and the Sky Runners. They're ready to just pull out. There's squads in the distance there. There's a Guardian squad in this Wave Serpent. They're going to pull out looking for objectives. And then deep in the backfield we've got the Fire Prism. It's got a good long line of sight there up that gap in between the trenches, and the Fly is right in the corner here. So we've got the Warwalker in the outflank manoeuvre that I can do, and one of the big tricks you can pull is we've used a stratagem point, or a command point rather, for this stratagem. It's Webway Strike. You can put 1 unit in the webway, and it comes in 9 inches away at the end of your movement phase from enemy units. So you can pay 3 command points and get 2 units in, but we've chosen to do 1. And it's the Banshees who'll be coming in through the webway, so we've got a trick to pull with them. And this is what it looks like for the Astra Militarum. We've got the Flyer here, inside is a platoon squad. We've got most of the heavy weapon squads down here, and the Warlord set up here before he knew where those ranges were going to go. So he is going to have to duck and dive to avoid those snipers. We've got most of the elite firepower right in the corner here. Here's Pask with his long range gun, Basilisk, a Demolisher just looking for those webway strikers. If he was going forward, he doesn't feel confident doing that for some reason. The Hellhound as well is very defensive. This is probably because we did play a trial game with the Eldar before this against the Imperial Guard, and the Eldar were incredibly aggressive, so put them on these back heels for this one. We've got intel that they might be aggressive again. So we've got a heavy weapons team in this trench. We've got the 3 Lehman Russ here, all lined up to take on the jet bikes down there. The Hydra, ready to shoot down anything that moves. And then over here we've got a platoon squad, Lieutenant, Commissar, Lord Commissar in fact, and the Sorcerer just there, or the Psyker rather. He'd be shot for heretic, for being a heretic if he was a sorcerer. But anyway, that's what the Imperial Guard look like. They've got this objective, could be within their possession quite easily, and then these 2 are the ones that they're going to have to move out to try and get. Right, so the Eldar are attacking at night. However, the Imperial Guard have got inside information. They know it's coming, so they're set up defensively. And because of this, they don't really know where the Eldar are going to go, because the Eldar are very tricksy, yeah, I suppose that's the word. They just don't know where they're going to go, so they're not even going to try and steal the initiative. The Eldar will go first, so we'll see if that's a good idea or not. It's worth reiterating one more time. With this mission, if you're longer than 18-inch range away, you're going to take a -1 to hit. So every move made from now on is going to be with that in mind. So before we do anything, before we move, Eldrad's Warlord trait. On a 6, we get a command point. No. Right, the Aeldari, Ulthwe move out. The orders have come in and they've been very, very good for their debut. The pulled priority orders received and defend objective 5 is attached to that. So it means your Warlord has got to go and do this objective, and what it is, defend objective 5, and it turns out to be right there, right in front of Eldrad. So if he just holds there, which he will, into the Imperial Guards, at the end of Imperial Guard's next turn, there's 5 points alone just for him moving an inch. So Eldar, the trickery, lives. Never dies. We also pulled 2 more, so we'll come to that in a second. So we'll just do movement. So the Wraith Lord advanced only an inch, only got there. The Warwalker that comes on from that special deployment, so he's come on from this board edge, he's just putting the pressure on this side a little bit, helping out the Wraith Lord. The Wave Serpent with the Wraith Guardian moves over the building, it's got fly keyword, lands here, it goes 16 inches, so have got some targets on offer there. The Sniper stays still, of course, the Guardians are staying still, Fire Prism stays still importantly, and over here things start to swing round. So the jet bikes come forward. They're going to put some serious firepower on this squad here. The Wave Serpent moves round. It deposits the Guardians first. They advance 5 inches, so they're just looking to get in position first. Can't fire this turn. They're not in range of anything. And this flyer comes forward. So we're going to look to pick off the Hydra before it gets us. So we've done one trick. This is the big trick. So we've got the Howling Banshees. They've came in from the Webway portal. They are 9 inches, more than 9 inches away from this Leman Russ squadron. Of course, they're all act as individual units now, but anyway, they're in front of these. They do get a 3-inch addition to their charge range, so it's actually going to need to be a 6-inch charge to get to these Leman Russ, just to shut them down, and you cannot overwatch Howling Banshees. So the Eldar got plenty of tricks up the sleeve here, so we'll see how they do. Only a 6 to roll. Let's wish them the best. We moved on to Psychic Phase as well. This Farseer got his 2 powers off, did Smite, killed 1, and doomed them as well. So this infantry squad's now doomed. Eldrad, he tried Guide on the Fire Prism in the background, failed it on a double 1, and he tried to Fortune a unit as well, this Wave Serpent, and failed that as well. So Eldrad just not doing well in these psychic powers. If we did get all those off, we would have got Ruin Master, I think it's called. It's actually called Master of the Ruins. I got that backwards. But anyway, if Eldrad got his powers off there, that would have been a further D3 points. But because he only got 1 off, the Farseer got his powers off and the Warlock got his power off, just means that we'll only score 1 point for that. But 6 points in this turn alone, not for doing not much, is a big welcome. Thank you very much, Fitz. So the shooting begins. The Warwalker comes on here, shoots the mortar team here. The last thing we want is mortar shots coming in on the Guardians back here. So we try to take them out. Only caused a wound. because we're out of that 18-inch range and we've moved with the heavy weapons, so hitting on 5s was the hard part. So only 1 wound on the mortar team. Over here, the Bright Lancers sidestepped, shot at the heavy weapons team up here, killed a base with a Bright Lance, so that was pretty good going. And we're going to move on to something very interesting here. We've got the snipers. They're going to single out the commander. There he is in the distance, the Creed lookalike. So we're hitting on 4s because we're at night. So we get 2 hits, wounding on 3s, but 6s are mortal wounds. So just 1 wound on him, needs to save on a 5. His armour gets it, right? So no damage for him, but could be trouble in the future for him. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to fire with the fire prism. So he's going to target Pask, and because he's right in the corner of the board there, he's a long way away. We have got the range though, it's 60-inch range. We're going to use the high yield shot, which is fire prism cannon, using the lance profile. So this is a pretty deadly weapon. It's AP -5, so it's going to rip straight through his cover. And because he hasn't moved, we get to fire twice. We didn't get the guide power off. That would have been scary stuff if that came off, but we're going to have to do it without rerolls. But to help us along the way, we're not hitting on... we'll be hitting on 3s, but because we're 18 inches away, we'll be hitting on 4s. But to help us out here, we're going to use the mission special stratagem, which is flares. So we're going to illuminate Pask with flares across the command point. So we're going to let that go. And now we're hitting on full ballistic skill with everything against Pask now. So this is 1 shot each, but because it gets to fire twice, here we go. So hitting on 3s against Pask. Both hits, that is pretty crucial. This is strength 12, so we're wounding Pask on 3 still. Not a 1, right? We're going to have to use a command reroll to reroll one of these. We'll want this to come through. Yep, that goes through. Pask has no save because this is AP -5. So it's D6 damage. Oh, it's just a 1. Right, well that was a big anticlimax. But that could have been nasty. Alright, so we've put ourselves in good positions, but just rolling badly. But hopefully this is going to change. So we're going to fire the Wave Serpent at the heavy weapons team. The reason is we just want that easy first blood. So we're going to have the double Bright Lance. Because we've got Crystal Target and Matrix, we're not going to suffer any penalty, and we're inside that 18-inch range. So hitting on 3s with the 2 Bright Lances, we'll get 1. And that's a wound that goes straight through the armour and the cover save at AP -4. So D6 damage, that kills a base. And then we've got the shuriken cannon to fire. We get 2 hits, 2s to wound. There's 2 wounds. You will get a save of 4 against this because you're in cover. 1 wound, just clings on to life. Okay, the Banshees fire next. We're still looking to pick up first blood, so 3 pistols fire this way because they're out of range of this target, but 3 pistols this way kill a guy, and then 2 pistols fire here, get a wound, so he needs to save on 4 lest he cough up first blood because he's deep in cover. Gets it, right? Right, the Wind Riders speak up next. So do the characters. We've put all the shots on the doomed squad, and doomed they were, so they're all eradicated. Just hail of gunfire with the doom power in play, so they're all dead. That is going to be first blood as well, so it's a massive point score for the Eldar in the first turn here so far, but we might even get more out of this because this Wave Serpent has now got eyes for this sorcerer, or the Psyker. So he is the nearest unit, so the crystal targeting matrix will allow this to hit even better, but because it's out of 18 inches, we're hitting on 4s. The Bright Lancers will get 1 hit. Wounds on 2. Does get the wound. Has he got an invulnerable save at all? Right, so the Psyker does not have an invulnerable save, so he's got 4 wounds, and it's damage D6. Takes 2 damage. He's not dead yet, so he's got 2 left. We're now going to fire all the other weapons at him. So we've got the shuriken cannon. 2 hits. No, just 1 hit. Does not wound either. Right, we're going to have to discharge the Wave Serpent shields at him. So on a 2+, yes, he's going to take D3 mortal wounds. Takes 2 mortal wounds. He's finished. Gone. Dead. Alright, so with that character dying, that's going to give us another point for Legacy of Sorrow. So with all the points accounted for, including First Blood, there's going to be 8 points scored this turn, providing that Eldrad holds onto that objective at the end of the battle round. So that is massive scoring so far. So the last thing we're going to do this turn is we're going to charge with the Banshees out of the portal. They get a 3-inch addition to this dice roll, so they need a 6 to get in. What we're going to do is we're going to have this as the primary target and these two as the secondary target. So we're going to try and lock up as many units as possible. In fact, I'm not going to do that yet. We need to fire the flyer first. Forgot that. There's been so much shooting going on. Alright, so the Pulse Laser is in red, Bright Lancer's in black at the Hydra. Right, we are within 18 of the Hydra, so we are hitting on... Well, we're Ballistic Skill 2, we've moved with the heavy weapon, so we'll drop to 3, but we are within range of this, within 18, so back to 3, so when it's all said and done, we're back to 3. So, Pulse Laser's in red. Alright, we've hit the majority of them. We do get reroll 1s, but no 1s in there. Right, so it's toughness 7, so we need 3s for each of these weapons, and we'll get them all. So the Pulse Laser, you do get saves off this of 6. The Bright Lance, not so lucky. This is just going to be straight D6 damage. It's taking 2 damage. We can't re-roll because we've used our stratagem already. So it's 2 damage, and then if you don't get any 6s here, no, it's a double fail. So the Pulse Laser is damage 3 each, so there's 6 between those and a further 2. So that's 8 damage on this Hydra. Right, so the Crimson Hunter does a job on this, so it's got 3 wounds left. And it's only still on its second T. We're 1 away from reducing that to its final bracket, but there it is. It's smoking, and it's now at a -1 to hit because of that damage to it. Right, so we're going to move on to the Banshees then. So they need it's 9 inches, but just to reiterate, because of the acrobatic special rule, they get a +3 to this dice roll, and with a Banshee mask, they do not have to be overwatched by all of these tanks. So we're needing a 6 to get in. We get it on 1 dice. So in they go. That's going to disrupt the Imperial Guard's plans big time. Alright, the Banshees go in and we'll attack them all on this tank. So the Executioner is pretty good alone. It's got D3 damage. Did get a wound through, and then a Power Sword got a wound through. Actually got 2 with the Executioner. So 3 wounds down on this Lehman Russ. There's 9 left. But another big trick that I didn't even realise was going to happen, but because tanks hit on a 6, the Banshees have a War Shout ability, which means you're -1 to hit them in the combat if they've got the Exarch, which they have. So, of course, you can't roll a 7, so they just do not fight back because they're just too acrobatic and just dodge out the way of those tracks. So with that combat done, there's just this morale check here to be made for this heavy weapons team. So they lost 2 out of that squad. So 2 + 3 is 5. They pass. They will stand with 1 wound left. That is a las cannon. Still could be good. Right, so that's the end of the turn for the Eldar, and what a turn it was. Just everything worked on this side. Few glitches in there, but it still worked, and the points show that. We've got First Blood, Legacy of Sorrow, Master of Ruins. There's 3 points, and crucially we've got another 5 in the bag for Eldrad here. There's no way he can be stopped from getting that. I can't see it. So it's on to Astra Militarum. They've been the baddest guys in the land. Up until now, the Eldar have come to reclaim the throne of Masters of the Universe. But are we speaking too soon? Are we being too arrogant? Because that's the Eldar way. Right. Old Cadians, turn 1. The orders have come in. They've got some scoring opportunity here. So the Guardsmen have got out the flyer here. They've rushed onto this objective. They have supremacy tactical objectives, so they're going to need to take 3. So that squad's gone to fulfill that. This unit moves into the trenches. These have to stay still, but the Warlord, he's ducked behind this wall, so at a close shave with the snipers up top. Doesn't want to experience that again. This Hellhound moves forward to this objective. It's going to try and burn out these Howling Banshees now that these 3 Lehman Russ have dropped out of combat. So they can't shoot this turn. The Howling Banshees have fulfilled the role just by shutting down those big 3 vehicles. Just did not see that coming. And the characters are coming over here just to sort out any stragglers. So there might not be any Banshees left, but that's what we expected. This stays still. And so, this Demolisher comes forward, but everything else in the backfield stays still for the Imperial Guard. So they've got some shooting now. They're going to dish out some orders, and then we're going to see what happens. Right, so shooting. First things first. The Imperial Guard are going to use the flare rule, the flare stratagem rather. They're going to send it up into the skies and light up this aircraft. They do not like it whatsoever. So that is now not going to be receiving the benefits of the night cover, and they want to get rid of it. So what we're going to do defensively, Eldar are going to play lightning fast reactions. It costs us 2 command points to do for an Azayana unit with the fly keyword. So the flyer will do it. It's now at a -1 to hit, so they're back where they started. It's cost us both stratagems, but at least, or command points, but at least the flyer could have a better chance of living here. So we're going to have to see how this comes to pass. Alright, so the Valkyrie is going to be the first to shoot at the flyer. So because this stays in hover mode, it's got a +1 to hit with the roving gunship ability. So it'll be hitting on 3s normally, but it's hitting, or it's trying to hit a hard to hit flyer, so it's at a -1. And with that stratagem we've just played, it's got lightning reactions, which is a further -1. So it's hitting on 5s, but it would have been 6s if they were shooting with that knight, without that flare stratagem that they just played. So 5s to hit. What are you going for first?
Rotopods first.
Rotopods. So 2d6. There's going to be 7 shots out of this one. So hitting on 5s for these. Gets 3. Right, it's strength 5 against toughness 6, needing 5s to wound.
Strength 5.
Yep. So no. Right, it's up to the heavy bolters. 6 shots from them. 5s to hit because it did stay still. Right, so it's 2 hits. 5s again. Gets 1. Right, so it's AP -1, saving on a 4. Does not get it, takes its first wound. Right, here's the scary bit. Las cannon hitting on a 5. Oh, gets it. Right, that's terrible news. 3s to wound. Does not get it.
Reroll that command point.
Here we go, command point reroll. Manages to roll a 2, so that just goes astray.
Oh,
Staying alive, just like the BGs. Right, the Hydra's going to have to go on the flyer now, so he's actually hitting on 6s because he's damaged now, and with the extra stratagem in place. So 6s to hit with these autocannons, 8 shots to be made. Gets 3, whoa, he's not messing around. 3s to wound. And these are 2 damage each, so there's all 3 wounds at AP -1, so 7 on 4s. We'll get 1, fill 2. So it's 2 damage each, that's 4 damage. And in fact, I should remember that it's taken 5 damage now in total. Ulthwe, on a 6+, you get your wounds back. So we get 1 wound back, so we're taking 4 damage. Almost forgot about that special rule. Right, it fires its heavy bolter at the Banshees, on 5s, gets 3 hits and 3 wounds. Can't believe it. Right, so we hit 7 on 5s with the Banshees. We'll make 1, fill 2, but we've got our Ulthwe saves to try and help us. No, we've lost 2 Banshees already. Right, the Hellhound's now going to burn out these Banshees. So 2d6 from the Inferno Cannon. How many shots? 10. It isn't pretty. Right, so these automatically hit and wounding on 2s at strength 6. Looks like it's good night. Irene. 7 wounds in there. It's AP -1.
1.
Right, it's AP -1, damage 1 these days. So 5s to save, we'll get 2. And then Ulthwe saves. We're going to have to do these 3 at a time because the Exarch. Right, so there's 3 dead. And then the Exarch's going to have to take both. Oh, she's left with 1 wound left. Right, heavy bolter then, hitting on 5s. Going to try and finish her off. Gets 1 hit. This could be all it needs. So 3s to wound. Gets it, right. Saving on a 5. No. Ulthwe save. No. So she now goes off. And that's a squad wiped out. Okay, the Imperial Guard now are going to fire up with the big tanks. We've got the Demolisher. It's going to fire twice. Only move 5 at the Wave Serpent in the distance. I can't see it. Don't think there's a cover save on there. So 2 dice. And this is going to be nasty. So 2d3 for the Demolisher Cannon. It's going to get 4 shots. So it is outside of 18-inch range. So hitting on 5s with these. That's the blessing for the Eldar here. Have been rolling well. Misses every single one. Big sigh of relief for the Eldar. Right, so last cannon's going to have a go at the fly. He needs a 6 to hit with all of the stratagems in play. Misses. Right, so okay, so the tank here with Pask in it, he's going to try a go at the flyer. So he hits on 2s normally. So 4's needed to hit the flyer. It rerolls 1s because he stood still. So here he goes. So Vanquisher Cannon, 2 shots because he stood still. Gets them both. Wow, that's dangerous. So 3's to wound. Gets 1.
Reroll.
You've already used it.
Have I?
With the last cannon from the flyer. Right, so this is AP -2. So I need to save on a 5. Do not get it right. So it's 2 dice, pick your best for damage. So the 5 is going to be 8. So I need Ulthwe saves of 6. So make 1, so we're taking an extra 4 damage. So we're taking 8 in total now. Right, I've got the plasma cannon sponsons now, so it's 2d3 shots at him. So he's getting 3, 2, that's 5. Again, hitting on 4s. Gets 2. Reroll that 1 though because he stood still. So 2 hits, and then wound on 3s because it's strength 7. Gets 2. Right, save on 6s. Because of the AP3 -3, and we'll get it right. So that's cancelled that out. His last shot, he's got a las cannon on board. This could be the difference. So hitting on 4s again. Misses. No rerolls available for that one.
Killer.
And he's got his hunter killer missile. Hits on a 4. Was it worth bringing? He's missed. It wasn't worth bringing. This Crimson Hunter is now on only 4 wounds left, so they're going to try and pick it out of the sky. In fact, if they just get 1 more wound, then it'll be on its last bracket of damage and lessen its ballistic skill further. So this weapons team are going to fire in on it. So they're hitting on 4s, they can reroll failed misses because of the Cadian special rule for that order. So hitting on 4s, what's going first?
Last cannon first.
Last cannon, right. Gets a hit, but becomes a miss at a -2 now. So it's missed. So auto cannon now, 2 shots. Can reroll those failed misses, so you need 4s. Right, so that 4, and then you -2, so that's now missed again. So it's a really long-winded way to do it after rerolls, modifiers after rerolls. That's what I'm looking for. So here we've got heavy bolter, 4s to hit. So you can reroll that 3, and that becomes a 5. Right, so these 2 hit, but then they drop 2, just like the other 2, so they become misses, but the 6 stays true. So that still hits, so you're needing 3 to wound on the heavy bolter. Does not get that crucial wound. That could have been it to bring it down on its last tier. Not to be. Right, the Imperial Guard start to fire on this side, so we've had the infantry platoon do out astonishingly well. This guy in particular, the guy with the plasma gun, overcharges and does 4 wounds to the Warwalker. The rest of them don't quite do as well. So even the heavy weapons teams here fired at them, got the saves, didn't get the hits because they're just out of that 18-inch bubble. Even the mortars fired in, and he's down to his last wound. This Warwalker is kicking around, much to the disdain.
Yeah, he's going to blow him. I think I'll use the Basilisk on that.
Right, so the Basilisk, he's coming in.
Seems overkill, but he will go.
Reroll 1s because he stood still. So there's 3 shots coming out of this one. And hitting on 5s, gets 2 solid hits, rerolls 1s for standing still. So 2 hits, stay true. 3s to wound, gets 1, a single 1 under the grav tank. Right, we've got an invulnerable 5 save to make, and we've spoiled the party. Yes, we can. So, devastating stuff. Devastating.
Yeah.
Alright, so that is the end of the turn for the Imperial Guard. Just couldn't put that Warwalker away. Now he's got sights for the weapons teams, and he's on. These do not degrade, even though they take wounds. They're just like dreadnoughts, if you will. So, it's time for victory points. They've got supremacy because they're holding this objective, the one just behind the Chimera, and even the Lehman Russ over there that dropped back. got towards our objective. So D3 victory points for this. Okay, that was a 3, so 3 points for them. And they're coming in. So that's the end of the battle round. So Eldrad now scores his 5 points as well for priority orders received. So we've defended this objective for 2 turns now. So 5 points for us as the Eldar player. So big points this round. That's what we've seen. Ulthwe turn 2, and Eldrad has give everyone the tactical objectives and what they need to do. So we need secure objective 2, and we rolled Strands of Fate, and because our Warlord is a Psyker, we can drop that up or down. We rolled a 3, so we'll drop that down to 2, so basically we just need to hold that objective in the distance twice. So the Guardians have gone forward down the trench, and they're going to hold that because they've now got the objective secured rule, so they're going to bring in 2 points for the army. So that's good work from the Black Guardians. And we've got Assassinate, so the jet bikes over there have moved around the trees. We're going to have a look at that. So the bikes moved around the trees. They're going to attack any one of these 2 characters. He's the easier option, he's the most deadly, but I think we're going to have to take out this Commissar. He's a Lord Commissar even, so he's even more esteemed. And the damage flyer, he moves off. With these Eldar flyers you can pivot 90 and then pivot again, so he's trying to get a side shot on Pask here. That's where he's moved to. His damage is now at a -1 to hit, so he should still do well. His ballistic skill is that good. And the Wraith Lord's gone forward. He's going to put the pressure on this side. He is in range of the far squad with both of his flamers. It's a bad day for the guardsmen of fields. Eldar feel like they're running rings around the Astra Militarum, too used to fighting the blunt attack from Chaos. So different things that they're going to look out for this time with this new codex. And you definitely feel like the Eldar are all over the guard at the moment. And we've also cast our Psychic Trickery everywhere as well. Eldrad, he's put Guide on this Wave Serpent, Fire Prism. So same thing as before, we're going to try and shoot out one of the vehicles at long range with its deadly shot. So now we have got rerolls under our bonnet now, so we're going to see what we can do with that. He also cast Fortune on this vehicle here. It wasn't the Wraith Knight. We're going to just try and keep this vehicle alive. And no, sorry, it was the Wraith Knight. That's what we decided in the end. That's why the card's there. So it is the Wraith Lord. He's got Fortune. And the Farseer over here, he's smote this not Land Raider, it's a Lehman Russ. Only 1 wound and failed everything else, I think. No, he did Doom. Failed it on the Demolisher in the distance. The bikes, the Farseer, getting all the words wrong here. The Warlock, there he is amongst them. He tried to cast Conceal, did not pass that either. So just a few key psychic powers here. So most notably Guide here and Fortune here. This is he's going to come under some firepower in the next turn. Right, we start to shoot now. This Warwalker over here fires at the mortar team. We've been able to kill 2, so they're down to 1 battery left. And we're going to move on to the Exarch now, the Crimson Hunter Exarch. He's going to try and pump some shots into Pask. He's damaged, so he's at a -1 to hit, so still he's moved with a heavy weapon. So he's ballistic skill 3 now, he's -1, so we're hitting on 4s against Pask. So pulse lasers in the red. And we do get reroll 1s, that is a special rule for the Exarch. And we've missed every single one, so he's not bringing home the goods. Right, the Wraith Lord uses his flamers, gets 11 hits, but only manages to kill 3 in the end of this Guardsman squad. So they're going down slow. And then we're going to fire the shoulder bright lance. Who did move. We're going to fire it at Pask. So, in fact, no, we'll just fire it at the flyer. Because we're still at the -1 to hit, because we're out of that 18-inch range still. So at the flyer, needing a 5 to hit. Do not get it. Right, now we're going to open up with the big fire prism. So we're going to use flares again. We're going to light up the demolisher in the corner there. So we're down to our last command point. I did do it off camera, the Eldrad's Warlord trait. In the Imperial Guard turn and the start of this turn, haven't regained any command points. So we're down to our last one now, unless we start to generate them. So here we go. We've lit it up. We're not suffering a -1 to hit now, and this has got guide. So we're doing the same brutal shot as before. So 2 shots hitting on 3s. Oh, we're going to need the guide to re-roll. That was not good. We'll get 1 hit. Oh dear. 3s to wound. Thought it would be easy. So we'll get that wound. It's just going to carve straight through at damage -5, AP -5, and it's going to be 6 damage. So already he's halfway dead. Right, so we're going to do this wave serpent now. It stayed still, so on full ballistic skill with the bright lances, and because the demolisher is lit up, we're going to try and finish it off right here, right now. So it's halfway dead. So we've got 6 wounds left. So 2 bright lances. Oh, of course, the shuriken cannon is going at this last cannon just to try and finish him off. So hit with 1 bright lance, need a 4. Do not get it. Do we use a command reroll? Our last point. No, we're just going to let that go. Right, so the shuriken cannon, see if we can finish this team off. Get 2 hits. There's 2 wounds, it's AP -3. So even with the cover save, he's dropped down dead. Okay, the luck is definitely with the Eldar now. We've fired with this Guardian squad into this Leman Russ. 4 wounds from the shuriken catapult, and it's brought it, and even a shot from the missile launcher got through. This is now on 4 wounds left, so it's below halfway. This is now taking a knock on its ballistic skill, so the Eldar are just chipping away at the guard. But this is a big one here. We've got 2 bright lances at this Leman Russ, so there's no. We have got crystal target and matrix, so there's no penalty for firing these heavy weapons. So here we go, hitting on 3s at such range he shouldn't miss, but he does miss 1. 4s to wound against the Leman Russ. We do get it, it's AP -4, there's no save. Here we go, D6 damage, gets 3 damage, right, and then we're going to shoot our shuriken cannon at it. We get 2, 5s to wound, we get an AP -3, so you need to save that on a 6. Does not get it, so there's another wound for that. I've just been shooting down the line now, so the Wind Riders just totally polish off this Lord Commissar, blow his hat off, and then blow his head off. He's totally dead. And then the Farseer, he fires his shuriken catapult, his twin shuriken catapult at this Leman Russ, gets it down to 3 hull points now. 3 remain, and we do shoot the bright lance, but saves. And then the what's his name? Warlock. He does the same, tries to get him, but still just hanging on. Right, so we've got an assault to do there. We'll have picked up a point for killing another character for the Lord Commissar, but we're going to move in on this lieutenant now. His days are numbered, and actually the Rangers up top, they fired in on the Demolisher. Because they can cause mortal wounds on a 4, put another mortal wound on this Demolisher, so it's knocked it down below halfway. So he's taking a knock on his ballistic skill now. So the Eldar just getting those crucial hits now. Okay, so we'll come down to the last shooting of the turn. The Guardians are going to fire the 2 bright lances at the Hellhound. It's the only thing in range, so we are outside of that 18-inch -1 range. So to help us out, what we're going to do is we're going to spend our last stratagem on discipline of the Black Guardians. So they're going to have a +1 to hit, so it's going to negate that 18-inch range that we're at. So we've got 2 bright lances hitting on 3s against that Hellhound. We've got them both, so it was worth it. Wound on 3s, it's only toughness 7. Both go through, it's AP -4, not an armor save to be had from that. So 2d6. Whoa, 9 damage. It's the lion's share. It's being knocked on its arse. Right, so the Hellhound is left with 3 wounds left, puffing out black smoke now. It's on its last band, and we're going to start the assault phase now. So this Wave Serpent is going to charge into that Leman Russ at the back there. So he's playing defensive gunners, which means you overwatch on 5s, not 6s. So this actually could be a mistake from the Wave Serpent.
I think so.
So here we go then, open fire, 2 battle cannon shots, because it did stay still. So a 6. Actually, we just had a check just to be on the safe side, and it was worth it. You don't shoot twice in the charge, in the overwatch. You only do it in your shooting phase, says grind in advance. So we're just going to re-roll that. How many shots are getting out this battle cannon? 4, so that's a good amount on one dice. So hitting on 5s. And doesn't get any, but the las cannon is still a potent weapon, so the las cannon gets it. Right, needs a 3. No, slips through. There's 2 heavy bolters on there.
Can I reroll that one?
Yeah, you can, because it's a different phase, so if you want to use another command point. Right, that comes through. So 7 on a 6 with the Wave Serpent. Goes through, nothing we can do, so D6 damage on this Wave Serpent. Only 1. And we do get to try and save that on our Ulthwe save with a 6. No, so we're taking 1 bit of damage. Now 6 heavy bolters to try and riddle it with holes, and it's going to need to. It's getting desperate now for the guard. So no hits at all for them. Right, so the Wave Serpent is going to go in. He's definitely in on a 6. He was very, very close.
Come on, pal.
Do you get that back?
No.
No, so the 2 command points used there do not come back for the command reroll and the defensive gunners strategy, so absorb that with that Wave Serpent. Right, the Wraithlord tries to stride into this combat on the left here, actually gets shot in the chest with a lasgun round and takes a wound, even if he's got fortune and toughness 8, still takes some damage off that lasgun. So he was at 8 inches with these flamers, so he needs a 7-inch charge to penetrate that inch bubble. Does not get it. We don't have any more stratagems to try and re-roll, so that's just our fate there, taking a wound. Right, so we're also assault with the jet bike squad here, well, what used to be a jet bike squad. We've only got 1 left. The battle cannon took out 2 in Overwatch. Astonishing roll in there, and then the characters have joined in as well, just to get out the line of fire. So 1 jet bike left. We might even lose them in the morale check at the end here, but Singing Spears, not too shabby against vehicles, so we'll see how all this turns out. Right, not much happening here with the attacks. Do good with the Farce here. He has the potential to do D3 wounds, or D3 damage, should we say, getting all the words wrong today. So D3 damage, but used as a command reroll and gets the armor save eventually, so no damage on either side. This misses the jetbike's back, this misses the Wave Serpent misses this, so just basically hemming the Leman Russ in at this point and just making it hard for them to do anything. But we have lost 2 jet bikes out of this squad, so leadership 7, so 2 plus 2 is 4. That jet bike will hold. And then there's an infantry platoon squad here. They lost 3, so 3 plus 5 is 8, so they're going to lose a squaddy. Right, so that is the end of Ulthwe turn 2. It was fairly good. So we've got assassinate because we killed the commissar, the Lord Commissar, so there's 1 point, and we've got secure objective 2 with the Guardians in the distance in the trench, and Strands of Fate ended up being objective 2 as well, so 2 points there, so 3 points in this turn. Very, very good. I feel like we're running away with it a little bit here. The Imperial Guard are going to have to pull out something rather special. Right, the Astra Militarum turn 2, so the orders have come through. They need to defend objective 4, which is next to that tree there where the Wraithlord is. It's possible. There's a lot of bodies there with the objective secured kind of rule, so that's possible. They just need to hold it for their turn and the Eldar's turn and score 2 points off that. Domination, no one gets domination, so that's okay. Right, so for movement, this Hellhound is actually on its 2nd band. I thought it was on its last band, but it's not. So that moves on 8 inches. Doesn't need to worry about any ballistic skill penalty because automatic hits from the Flamer. This Demolisher just creeps forward a little bit. It was jerry-rigged at the start of the turn, so it's regained a point. Still not enough to put it on its full ballistic skill, but it will fire twice. It will have meaningful intent against the Wave Serpent in the distance. Over here, this Leman Russ drops out of combat. It did have the room to do so. It was that Lieutenant blocking us. If he just wasn't there, we would have been able to wrap the jet bikes around and stop him from doing that, but he's got away. Expose these jet bikes, so we're going to see if the guard can just wipe these away. Right, so the Cadians are going to start firing. So this team first has the order for aimed fire. So with Cadians, it just turns out to be just autumn rerolls, just flat rerolls.
If you're stationary.
Yeah, so it's flat rerolls for this squad, flat rerolls for that squad. And so we've got 2 las cannons going at the Wraith Lord first.
There you go.
2 hits, just right off the bat.
Actually, no, it's on -1.
It's not -1, we have penetrated that 18-inch bubble now. So 3s to wound to go through. Right, we need to save on 6s. We'll get 1, and then what's the damage? That 1 shot. 2.
Gonna reroll on them.
Right, so command point being used. Does it come back?
No, I haven't got 1 back yet.
No, not working today, the thing.
5.
5, right, so we would have Ulthwe saves normally, but we did play Fortune last turn because we anticipated he was going to come under heavy attack. So getting these back on 5s, these lost wounds, and that was a fairly good roll. We got 2 back, so he's taken a further 3 wounds. So with that las gun shot to the chest, he's now got 6 wounds left previously. So 6 wounds to go. So we have a heavy bolter in that team. Gets 2 and reroll that failed hit. So gets all 3 and needing 5s now against the Wraith Lord. Gets 2, not bad. 4s to save. Gets them both, right. He's holding up. Still more heavy weaponry to put up with.
We've got these next though.
Alright, okay, I'll see what these can muster. Right, so the Guardsman squad try an overheated plasma gun and kills himself, so he doesn't do anything. Las guns fail to wound. Over here, overcharge of plasma gun, kills the Warwalker. Decides to overcharge it because didn't want the Ulthwe saves making a mess of that, so did kill himself in the end, but the Warwalker has now died. Didn't explode though, so that's gone. Doesn't like Warwalkers.
Yeah.
They always die. Right, so
Kill too many guards.
we're going back over here. So we've got this unit here, re-rolling every failed hit. So las cannon first gets a hit, does not need that reroll. So 3s to wound, fails. Oh dear. Right, so auto cannon, it's gonna have to put some work in. Reroll a failed hit. So still just 1 hit. 5s to wound because he's toughness 8. Nope. Heavy bolter. Reroll that failed hit. So 3 hits, needs 5s. Gets 2. So these heavy bolters that end up doing the damage all the time. Both fail, and then Fortune saves. We get 1. And we don't get the other, so we're taking an extra wound. So we've got 5 wounds left now. Right, so the Wind Riders come under extreme punishment. The Hydra kills the first bike, and then the second Leman Russ kills the Warlock, so we're just down to the Farseer over there, flying around on his lonesome. But he's not going to be able to be targeted just yet from everything else, so he's staying alive for now. So we've got the Demolisher, he's going to shoot at this Wave Serpent. So double shots, 2d3. So he's getting 4 shots. He's on his second tier of damage, so he's going to have to hit on 5s. Makes 2. Never count out a Demolisher when hitting on 5s. But he gets a reroll once. No, he did move, so he can't. He just shuffled forward just a touch. So no Cadian rerolls for him. So 2 hits and then 3s to wound. Gets 2 confident 6s. Right, so needs to save on 6s. Fill them both. Right, so first damage is 4. It drops to 3 because of the Serpent Shield. And then the second damage is 2, drops to 1 because of the Serpent Shield. So there's 4 wounds there to try and absorb with the Ulthwe roll. the foresight of the damned, so we'll get 1 back. So he's taken 3 wounds the Wave Serpent. Got off pretty light there, I've got to say. Alright, the Hellhound is firing at the Wave Serpent, just trying to whittle it down. So the heavy bolters needing 5s to hit, nope. And it did move, so we'll re-roll them 1s, and then the turret is getting 8 shots. So this is strength 6 automatic hits. So just straight 5s to wound on these 8 dice. So there's 2, it's AP -1, so we're saving on 4s. Make 1, fail 1. Ulthwe save of 6. Do not get it, so he's taking another wound. So we've got 9 wounds left now on the Wave Serpent. Right, we're coming over to Pask now, he's going to do his shooting. So all of the weapons are going at the flyer. Aside from the Vanquisher Cannon itself, he's going to try and target the Wraith Lord, get him out of the way. So which one are you going to do first?
Go for the Wraith Lord.
Okay, so the Wraith Lord, he's outside of that 18-inch range, so you're hitting on 3s against him. So 2 shots from the Vanquisher. So first shot is a hit.
Second shot.
Yep. Is another hit. Right, so he's strength 8, so you need 4s to wound. Gets 1. Right, so it's AP -2, so saving on 5s. And we get it. Just deny Pask. Always feels good to deny Pask. So right, we've got a las cannon firing at the flyer now. So hitting on 3s because he's flying. So he gets that hit. 3 to wound. Gets it. 7 on 6. Does not get it. So D6 damage. He's only got 4 wounds left. Now he's only got 2 wounds left. So plasma cannons. So D3 shots out of each. So he's getting 5 shots out of the plasma cannons, hitting on 3s. They are not overcharging. No need to really. So 3s to hit, rerolling 1s, but there's no 1s. So 4 hits and 3s to wound because it's only toughness 6 that vehicle. All full house there. So in fact, I almost forgot again. 2 Ulthwe saves for the previous wounds. Don't get any. And now we've got 4 wounds to save on 6s for armor. So we'll get 1, and then now we've got Ulthwe saves, don't make them. Right, so he's going down. Let's see if he goes down straight into Pask in a fiery wreck. He does. Oh, yeah. That's why we parked him there. We had a funny feeling he was going to explode.
So did I.
Right, so Kamikaze, Eldar Pilot, straight into Pask. D3 mortal wounds. Here we go. Just the 1. Right, the Valkyrie is now going to fire into the Wraith Lord. Really wants to get rid of him. So the las cannon hits and wounds on a 4, so we need to save on a 6. We do not get it, and it's 3 damage. So fortune saves, and we'll make them all. Thank.
What is it? 6s?
It is 6s normally for Ulthwe, but with fortune, with that psychic power,
right.
We need 5s. So you can't take them both, but in my book a 5 is better than a 6. So there we go. Absorb them all. Right, rocket pods, 2d6 shots. So there's 8 shots coming out of this pod here. So these are basically heavy bolter profile. So 3s to hit because he stayed in hover mode and did not move.
Okay.
So that's 6 hits. 5s to wound. Gets 2.
2, yeah.
4s. We are going to take 1. Fortune. Absorbs it. Fortune is working well. 2 heavy bolters, same deal. 3s to hit because you stood still. So there's 5 hits. And 2 wounds. Right, here we go. Save them both. Good lad, he's absorbed the damage. So the Basilisk has yet to speak.
Yeah, who's Basilisk on?
Who's he going to speak to? He's going to speak to the Wraith Lord. Right, here it comes.
Drawing a lot of attention.
Earthshaker Cannon. Best of 2 dice. Here we go. The 3. Right, so he's outside of that 18-inch bubble. He's hitting on a 5. Gets 2 all the same. Oh well. So 2 hits, 3s to wound. Gets them both. Right. 6s to save on the armor. No, and then it's 2d3 damage. Right, so there's a 3 and a 2. Right, this could kill him if we fill all of our fortune saves. We managed to cling on. Clinged on. Got one wound left. Horrendous. Alright, so because he hangs on, the Imperial Guard are desperate now. They're going to try and assault him with the infantry. Because remember, they need to defend this objective, so you cannot just be hanging around with these flamers and get the charge off. So he's just going to try and take matter in his own hands here. So the small squad is charging first, so they're going to have to put up with two flamers first. So 5. They might just make it here. So there's 2 wounds. They're going to have to save on 5s. Both fail. So 2 guardsmen have dropped, and then the Bright Lance has missed. So 2 guardsmen have died, and then there's 3 left. So they're going to charge in. Is the big squad going to charge in, or are they just not up to it?
You get to shoot again.
I don't get to shoot again because these are going to reach the combat and stop him from overwatching again.
I'm going after.
So the big squad is joining the fight. Right, so it's just had a change of plan there. They're not going to charge this unit in, basically because it might take them off the objective, and they would have to survive 2 rounds in combat with a Wraith Lord just to hold that objective. So they're just hoping that this squad kills them off. If they don't, then they're just hoping they can hold on.
Hope against hope.
A lot of hope, but that's humanity for you. So these are not too shabby. 5 attacks. The sergeant is a bit of a beast alone. So 4s. Okay, I spoke too soon. They've all missed. Right, so we're going to attack back with the Wraith Lord. Alright, the Wraith Lord's only got 1 wound left, so we can't hit on our full ballistic skill. We're needing 5s. We get 1. 2's to kill. So we've killed a guardsman. So I'll just be the guy without the box on. I'm sure. So 2 left. It's a morale check for them. So they've lost 1 in the combat. They lost the plasma because he overheated, and they lost 2 to the overwatching flamers. So they're down by 4. So 4 plus 2,
6.
7.
Good.
6, 7. Well, I get 7 for right. 6. They do hold. The sergeant is still there, keeping his comlinks in line. So the brave and the hope did pay off. Right, it's the start of the Craftworld's 3rd turn, and we rolled for our command point to come back to 6, and we got it. So it's 2 in a row, 2 for 2, and we've got 2 of our command points back in our hand. So that opens up the gates for more Eldar trickery. So we've done the psychic phase and the movement. So the movement phase over here, we're staying still because we need to hold objective 3. We're just going to keep the Wraith Guard in there, staying tight. No movement over here. It's all down to this side of the board, really. So the only things I do move is the Wave Serpent jumped over here. Still, this is the nearest tank. We've got the Guardian staying still. The Farseer rides his jet bike in reverse up to there, so he's now no longer the nearest unit. He knows when he's beaten, and he's just going to fall back. So we've done this psychic phase. We've put Guide on the Fire Prism in the background. It's going to re-roll failed hit rolls. And this Farseer, he dooms this nearest Leman Russ and smites it, or give it a good old smiting, whatever it is. He did something, and whatever he did, it took 3 points off this Leman Russ. So it's now got 5 left. So this one's got 5 left, this one's got 3 left. This one is fresh, so we're cracking down on this presence of armour in the line. So we're going to see how these perform. The Shuriken catapults, very effective against vehicles when you're needing 6s anyway. So let's see if they can put in another good round, and this is doomed, remember, so re-roll the wound for these guys. Alright, the Guardians have put in a massive round of firepower on this. Have killed it with the Shuriken Blade Storm rule. It's gone, so we're going to see if it explodes on a 6. It does explode. That is bad, bad, bad. There's a Wave Serpent and a Lehman Russ here. So here we go then. I'll just do it. So the Guardians, D3 mortal wounds. There's 3 dead in the Guardians. Wave Serpent takes a single wound, and the Lehman Russ takes 2 wounds. It's on its last wound now, this Lehman Russ. But the Guardians are going to have to take a morale check for losing 3. It's bad, bad. Well, actually, it's not over yet. We do get our Ulthwe saves, even against mortal wounds. So we'll have regained a Guardian. And on this, see if it regains its wound. No. Right. So there we go. Right, move on to the Wave Serpent. Fires the Shuriken Cannon at this one, just to finish off its last wound. Doesn't get it, and we'll fire the double Bright Lance here. 2 hits, 1 wound, but only 1 damage. So this is just dropped by 1 wound. Still got 11 left. That one's fresh as a daisy, just about. This one, not so much. It's got 1 wound left on death's door. Try to finish it off with the snipers, in fact, because they didn't do mortal wounds on 6s. Still didn't get it, so it still lives. Right, I've come over here for the big shots now. So we've got the Fire Prism. It's going to fire at the Demolisher, but not before we illuminate it with the flare for this mission. So we're down to our last command point again. That same old feeling. And we're going to use the Vicious Land Shot again from the Fire Prism. So hitting on 3s now that we've illuminated it. And we don't need guide this time. It's a good shot. So 3s to wound. Oh, again, every time we bring a big gun, that happens. So we're going to use our last command point to re-roll one of these. Try and get a 3. We need to get rid of that Demolisher. I'm sick of it. Right, there we go. There's the 4. But because we used the command point re-roll there, we just have to take what we get on the damage. Come on, 4, that'll do. It's on these last 2 wounds now, that Demolisher. Right, we'll finish up the round with Bright Lances from down the street there. Fire at the Hellhound and fail badly, so no damage on that. The Wave Serpent fires Shuriken Cannon at that, doesn't do anything, and the Bright Lances at this don't do anything. So disappointing turn this round. We've had all our big guns just not deliver the goods. Mostly the Fire Prism. That's the 3rd time it's shot and not delivered. So it's straight on to the combat phase. Let's see what happens over here. Right, so we've done the combat over here. The Wraith Lord just slays these 2, gets his hits on a 5. So he now consolidates into this big unit, but the big unit can fight him. So there's a lot of attacks there. They just need 1 to slay him, and they can live happily ever after. Right, so there's 11 attacks coming in from the Guardsmen here. Hitting on 4s. They get quite a few. And then wounded on 6s, the hard part. Fortune is no longer on the Wraith Knight. So 1 wound, this could be it. 7 on 3. Oh, Ulthwe save for 6. No, he's dead. He's been laid low.
Me little stalwarts.
Right, so that's the end of Ulthwe turn 3. So we might have, we haven't done as well as I thought we would have done there. We need to defend objective 3, so if the Imperial Guard can just drive that Hellhound there, it'll stop them from collecting that. We thought we'd be able to take the Hellhound out with the Bright Lances, but just didn't happen. So that might not be scored, but what we have scored is Area Denial. This is the centre of the table. There's no one within 12, so we're going to score D3 victory points. And we get 2. So 2 more points for the Eldar. So the points are coming in, but a mixed bag of results there in that turn. Okay, so the Astra Militarum turn 3, the orders have come through, and they need to secure this objective again. This one's pretty important for some reason, so they're going to try and score that again. At the end of Eldar turn, they've just defended this objective, so this unit's doing well with the score on that 3rd point. They need to defend objective 3 just like the Eldar, so the heavy weapon squad's moved in and the Hellhound's gone down. Just need to hold that for their turn and the Eldar's turn. We're going to have to do something about that. We're sick of these vehicles hanging on. We've been shooting at them all day with these Bright Lancers down this channel, and now it's coming home to roost. They're taking those objectives from us. So they're going to have to hold on to that for another turn though. If the Eldar do better next time, it might not be the case. Right, and over here we've just got a lot of damaged Lehman Russ and vehicles. So we've got this one on its last wound, so it's hitting on 6s now. This one's still okay. Lieutenant Lead Belly, he's retreating slowly. This is still damaged. This is now hitting on 6s as well. But Pask, he's got a clear shot. Well, it's not clear, but it's a clearish shot at the Wave Serpent down there. So he's still active. The Basilisk is always got a target, and the Flyer, it looks like it's just staying there. Probably going to try and strip down this Wave Serpent. So let's get on with the shooting phase and see what happens here. Right, start shooting with the Astra Militarum, and the wounded tank that's hitting on 6s actually kills 2 Guardian, and then the heavy bolts from that one kills another, so 3 Guardians gone out of the trenches there. The autocannon from this really hurts the Wave Serpent, and then followed by the Hydra. It's now on 6 wounds left, that Wave Serpent, so not good whatsoever. Really taking a punishing toll over here after this massive failure of Bright Lancers not going off. It's really cost us when it couldn't or shouldn't have. So now we're going to have to put up with more shots. Demolisher hitting on 6s, still re-rolling 1s. So 2d3 at the Wave Serpent. So we're getting 4 shots. So 6s needed. Re-roll those 1s. So 1 hit and then 1 to re-roll. So just 1 hit, needing a 3 to wound. No, escapes. Right, so the Imperial Guard have finished the shooting now. They've fired pretty much all the heavy weapons from over here at the Wave Serpent that was there. Eventually Pask finishes him off, so he's gone now. That was just a terrible time for him. Demolisher shoots in on this Wave Serpent, as does the Hellhound, the Valkyrie, some las guns here. Even Pask fires the main guns. It's now got 5 wounds remaining. It's been such a terrible turn for the Eldar. After those Bright Lancers did not work in their turn, the Imperial Guard have been able to come back with a heavy hand, and all of their weapons have been working. Even hitting on 6s and 5s, have been putting in all the work. So we've lost 5 Guardians out of the Guardians in the trench. We've only got 3 left. So they took an absolute kicking over there. So they're going to have to roll a 2 plus 5 is 7. They're going to pass. They're holding on by the skin of the teeth. There's only 3 left in the heavy weapons platform. Right, so damage in turn there from the Astra Militarum, put in a load of damage. Got rid of 1 Wave Serpent and a half. Starting to look weak now, the Eldar, and they are scoring a point over here, so they're still well behind on points, but the damage is now starting to creep in for the Eldar. Still got a good backfield unit, but this next turn needs to pay off for these Bright Lancers. Need to take out some of these vehicles that are just hanging on. Go into Craftworld Ulthwe turn 4 now. It's a grinding game, this one. So we've done our movement and it was very minimal. We haven't moved anything except the Wraith Guard out of the Wave Serpent, and the Wave Serpent, as injured as it is, it's just hobbling on, going towards that Demolisher to see out its days. It's going to go over there on a suicide mission. So we've done psychic powers as well. So Eldrad's done Fortune on the Wraith Guard. He's also done Guide again on the Fire Prism. It's its last chance. It's on Thin Ice and Hot Feet. I'm watching you. And he smote the Hellhound. It's on its last wound, that Hellhound now. And there's if you notice in the corner there, there's no more Land Raider. We smote it with the Farseer. It was on its last wound anyway. Now that is gone.
When was the Land Raider?
Lehman Russ, rather. I keep on getting me words mixed up. It's not a good day for that. So we're going on to the shooting phase. It needs to be better than the last time. So here we go. Alright, we've done the missile launcher in the trench there at this Lehman Russ. Missed. So we're going to do 2 Bright Lancers up the channel at this. See if we can finish this off finally. We'll get 1 hit at that range. 3 to finish it off, and we do not. Just can't get the dice anymore. What's going on? Right, we're going to do the Wraith Guard now. Because this hasn't died, it just won't die. We're going to do 2 Wraith Cannons at this, and then 3 Wraith Cannons at the heavy weapons team. So 2 Wraith Cannons, and we've missed with both. Just living in a world in a sea of 1s and 2s for the last 2 turns. These guys at the heavy weapons team, so 2 hits from them, and there's 2 dead. It's AP -4, so the first one is damage 3, so there's a base gone, and the second one is damage 2, so there's 2 bases gone from the Wraith Guard. Right, in an act of desperation, we're going to have the Rangers try and finish off the wound on this Hellhound. Just sick of it living, so we'll get 4 hits, needing 6s, and they are mortal wounds if they roll 6s. We do not get any 6s, but there's 2 wounds on 5s, so need to save on 3s. Right, there's that most important wound gone through. So this actually explodes on a 4, so it might even kill some Wraith Guard if we're unlucky. So it does explode. So D3 mortal wounds on the Wraith Guard. So the full 3, oh dear. Fortune saves, so 5. Right, so we have saved a Wraith Guard, but one's taken 2 wounds. We'll have to check what else is in range. Alright, so that Hellhound's gone. Doesn't kill a base here, but it really badly injures the Wave Serpent. So we're now on 2 wounds left for that, so we really should have fired that first, because we're now hitting on 5, so that was a massive blunder. So we're going to do the Bright Lance. We're going to do the Shuriken Cannon at this heavy weapons team up here, and then we're going to do the Bright Lance at this, the double Bright Lance at this, and then we're going to fire the Serpent Shields at this as well, because it's the nearest target. So yeah, Serpent Shield. Well, I was thinking about doing the Bright Lances over here, but given our luck, we'll just not even do anything with the Serpent Shield. So we're putting everything on this. It's only got 2 wounds left. So Serpent Shield on a 2+. So that doesn't come off, and that would have just been easy mortal wounds. Right, so 5s with the Bright Lance. We do have Crystal Target and Matrixes, so this is the nearest, so we won't suffer any damage for the... forget it. Right, so we're going to have to rely on the Fire Prism now to fire at this. We're going to use the second profile on it, so it's D3 shots, but we'll fire twice. So 2 D3 shots, we're getting 4 shots out of it, but we are hitting on 4s at this range. But we do have Guide. We're going to reroll failed hits. If I just see another one, I'm just going to snap, I think. Right, they all hit. Eureka. So it's strength 9, 3s to wound. They all wound when it's only got 2 wounds left. Right, the AP -4, so it just goes straight through armour and any cover that it may have, but it doesn't have any. So it's D3 damage each, so it is now history. So on a 6 it explodes, possibly kills the Wave Serpent. Yeah, it explodes. Right, so D3 on the Wave Serpent. Everything's exploding now. Only 1 wound on the Wave Serpent. On a 6 we save that on Ulthwe save. No, it's on its last wound. D3 wounds on the Hydra. Oh, it's 3 wounds and it's on its last 3 wounds. See if that explodes. This could cause a chain reaction. No, it stops there. So 2 vehicles gone. Well, that turned out better. That was better work from the Fire Prism. Alright, so we'll finish off that turn by swamping this last heavy weapons las cannon guy with me Wraith Guard, and they just pull him limb from limb. So he's now dead. That's stopped them from getting this defend objective 3. Eldar also need objective 3, so if we can just stay there with the Wraith Guard, we'll get 2 points out of that. But we've got blood and guts for killing that guy in combat, so there's a point right there. And Big Game Hunter, now this is where it's just totally strange. So we've killed 3 vehicles somehow with that sea of 1s. It was just, all it took was a 6 from the Imperial Guard, and it killed more tanks. So 1 died over there from the smite, 1 here, and then 2 there. So that's actually Big Game Hunter D3. So 2 points for that. So that was really hard work at getting that one. So yeah, 3 points that turn. So the points are coming in. but the dice just don't seem to be on our side, but the cards are most definitely on our side. Alright, Astra Militarum, turn 4 here. It's been a bloody battle. Right, so movement. This squad that were on this objective have gone into the trench just to bolster a little bit. They're just going to try and get back to protect. He's now called Captain Coates because he's got a big coat. So
Captain Coates and Lieutenant Aeldari.
Yeah, he's stepped away from the serpent. It's only got 1 wound left. There's been a lot of exploding vehicles so far, so he does not want to see that happen again. So he's stepped away. They're going to try and get rid of all of these Wraith Guard because the Aeldari have secure objective, no, defend objective 3. So they're going to score 2 points at the end of this turn if they do not eradicate those Wraith Guard. It's possible Pask has got a lot of damage in him, in his tank. They could do it, but they're in cover, they're ready for it, and they've got Fortune. This tank over here is going to probably just try and finish off the Guardians out of spite. But we'll see where this goes. So there's some firepower coming through, and Lieutenant Leadbelly over there, he's gonna
do a cheeky shotgun shot.
Fire in the first salvo.
At the limb.
With the limb duck. Right, here he goes. And so hitting on 3s.
This could be fun.
So he gets 2, 6s to wound.
Now we just need 6s. No, that's a 6.
Still, we're not having it. Captain Coates is going to reveal a plasma, not plasma pistol, just a las pistol from underneath his coat and shoot the Wave Serpent. Let's see if he gets a 3.
Did I do?
Yep, needs a 6 now.
Oh!
Okay, alright. 7 on a 3.
Oh,
and he saves.
Spot the party.
And he saves. In fact, the Imperial Guard have just had a look at the army list, and he has actually got a plasma pistol under that coat, forgotten about, but there is a plasma pistol under there. So that actually does go through the armour, and we're going to have to save on an Ulthwe save lest it be killed. And we do. We return with a 6.
Oh,
has he got anything else hiding under that coat that we don't know about?
He's got a power sword, he's going to charge it.
Right, so the guardsmen start to fire. They've got first rank fire on these and take aim on these. So these fire first with all their shots, hit wounded on 6s and saving on 2s, but I roll a double 1 and lose a Wraith Guard, even with Fortune as well. So 1's down and this one's taking a wound. So we've now got the heavy weapons team now. So which one's firing first?
Last cannon.
I would recommend the heavy bolter first. So the last cannon hits. Well, it's missed, but you can re-roll failed hit rolls with take aim. So it's hit. So wounds on a on a 3, toughness 6 these. So yeah, that wounds, and we're saving on a 2 in cover, so we're going to be saving on a 5 after the minus modifier. So we'll actually absorb that last cannon. Auto cannon. Reroll a failed hit. Still a miss, so wound on a 3 gets it. So we're saving on a straight 3 now. We'll make that as well. So heavy bolter now. Gets 2 reroll, yep, all 3, and doesn't deliver. Right, the Valkyrie's now going to fire at the Wraith Guard. So pods, yeah. So we're getting 8 shots out of this time. It's been firing well. 3s to hit. In fact, we're going to have to check the range here. No, this should be within 18. We'll accept that, right? So 5s to wound.
Not a sausage.
Not a sausage. A fan favourite. So, 2 hits there. We don't get to reroll 1s because they're not from Cadia, but there is a wound, which we save because we're in cover.
Last cannon.
Last cannon hits. Wounds. Right, I need to say this on a 5 again, and we'll get that as well. These Wraith Guard are now starting to hold.
I thought you rolled 1s all the time.
Well, I do if it's las guns or trivial shots, but las cannons I seem to absorb.
Pask. Big gun. 2 shots.
2 shots out of the Vanquisher. 2 hits. No, 1 hit because he's outside of 18-inch range. So only one will do. Wounds on a 3 because it's strength 8, so no. Right, las cannon. It does hit. And that falls into the abyss. And that converts. Right, 5s again. Let's see if we can keep up this trend. Yes, we do. Okay. The winds of fate have changed now. Terrible time of it last time, but now we're holding.
So D3 each.
Yep, so 2 plasma cannons coming at them. So we're looking at 5 shots from Pask. So 3's to hit.
And these are overcharged.
Overcharged, okay. Alright, so he gets to reroll 1s. Okay, it's still a 1, so he's taking a mortal wound. And because it's a -1, that 2 now gets bounced down to a 1. So he's taking 2 mortal wounds. So he's actually done more damage to himself than the fire prism did to him. So anyway, we've got 3 hits. And these are wounded on 3s. Gets 2. AP -3, so we're looking at 5s again. Fill them both, right. So it's 2 damage each. So the first Wraith Guard guy, he's going to have to save on his fortune. Does not do it, so Wraith Guard has been laid low. Next guy, got to take 2 fortunes. Saves 1, so Wraith Guard member is taking a wound now. Right, the Basilisk now, he's going to have fire incoming, so how many shots is he cranking out? So 4. Hitting on 5s because he's outside of 18. So 2 hits. 3's to wound, gets them both. Right. It's AP -2, but I'm in cover, so just 1. And we'll save both of those. Okay, so the Imperial Guard finished off their shooting with heavy bolters in the trench at the Guardians. Surprisingly only did 1 wound, and we took that on the gun. The turret fired at the Wraith Guard again. Poor, only 1 wound, and we saved it. So that is the end of shooting phase for the Astra Militarum. So it's pretty much over for the Astra Militarum at this point, we feel. But we're going to look for a glorious charge from Captain Coates here. He's going to try and finish off this Wave Serpent. So he's going to have to dance through the Overwatch here. 2 Bright Lancers. Oh, he's been hit. 2's to wound. It's wounded him, so he's a refractor field of 5.
Shrugs this off. No.
No, he doesn't shrug it off, and it's not absorbed by that huge thick coat he's got on. That keeps nothing, keeps the winter out but not a bright land, so let's see. Yep, he's dead. So that's a Warlord kill, so that's what he gets for
Comedy 3 out this. Oh.
Right, so that's what he gets for being a Creed wannabe. And he's now toast, so that's a Warlord score there, but it's pretty much over now. Eldar were in front by 10 points, and we just scored 2 points extra there with that objective for the Wraith Guard not going away. In fact, we need to do a morale check for them. We've got a 6 plus 2. We may have lost. Well, in fact, we'll find out how many we've lost. Right, Wraith Guard actually leadership 9. We don't lose any, so that's a surprise. So there we go. Then they get an extra 2 points. We're not going to really count the commander point at the end because that was just for glory. Captain Coates submitting that last charge. But a bit of a bloody game, that one. Shocking awe from the Eldar at the start. Just
I think it was a shocking deployment from the Imperial Guard, and I think that was the case. Having 3 Leman Russ in a line like that was just pretty silly.
Well, what can you do when they're a squadron? You can put
a staggered deployment. We'll look out for next time.
Yeah, the Howling Banshees just really stopped their business.
In their tracks, literally.
Yeah, stopped in the tracks. If there was a name for the video, that would be it. Yeah, it was scary in the middle there because the Eldar just weren't getting the hits, and the Imperial Guard was starting to hit back hard even with all of the damage on the vehicles. And if those vehicles didn't go down in that 3rd turn, there could have been a possibility for an upset, just if the Imperial Guard shot impeccably well. But I think the Knight thing, the 18-inch -1 to the hit roll, worked on both sides there. These Bright Lancers and this guy, and all the Bright Lancers, in fact, they're just working against the Eldar not being able to hit with that stellar firepower, but the Imperial Guard was suffering the same.
Yeah, we've got a lot more guns to fire, and so it really hurt us a lot more, I think.
Yeah, but Pask was indomitable, just kept on shooting at the back. So a lot of casualties for the Eldar, but they've brought home the victory for the debut for the Craftworld, and Eldrad is pleased.